Now, the most absolutely ridiculous but unsurprising news today came from the World Health Organization. So much for a coronavirus inquest, which will be independent and comprehensive. We got word today that they won't even visit the Wuhan laboratory, suspected by some to be at the centre of all of this. That doesn't surprise you, does it, Rowan? We don't have any hope in anything done to work out where this coronavirus came from.
Well, they're very sensible, the World Health Organization, because if they go to the Wuhan lab, they'll find where it came from, and that's the last thing they want to do, because then the Chinese will go, oh, my God, we caused it, for whatever reasons. So they'll wander off to the bat soup and have a bowl of bat soup, and they'll go, oh, here's where it came from, this is the, here we go, and it'll all be hunky-dory. The World Health Organization has zero credibility in this pandemic, absolutely zero credibility. We saw, even after it was clear that there was human-to-human transmission, the World Health Organization was running around telling us that there was no human-to-human transmission, which allowed the thing to spread. They've been a joke, a disaster. Donald Trump's done the right thing in moving away from them so that hopefully they are reformed.
Yes, exactly. I think we should just get our minds completely over any inquiry. We copped it from the Chinese because we dared to initially suggest there should be an inquiry. Richo, just forget it. There'll be no inquiry, and if there is, we won't hear the results for years to come. It's a waste of time.
Of course it is, but did anyone seriously believe the Chinese would let anyone anywhere near the laboratory in Wuhan? I mean, there was always Buckleys of that happening, so I never got excited about an inquiry. There was no way the Chinese would ever allow a proper one. So there's never going to be an inquiry.
All right, I want to get your reaction to this. It's fascinating to see when cancel culture advocates go to war with themselves. I find that really funny. The City of Sydney is divided over how best to commemorate an 18th century Indigenous woman, with Lord Mayor Clover Moore warning that a statue backed by the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council may be colonialist and inappropriate. So they're being ignored by Clover. There's a suggestion, Jenna Clark, that what they should do is engrave some of the faces of some of the elders and famous people like those that taught Lieutenant Dawes the language of the Gadigal people on a sandstone wall at Walsh Bay. I think this has legs. I like the sound of this, but at least what it says is you can show respect for those who contributed on the Indigenous side of our colony, but you don't need to take down statues of colonialists.
No, absolutely. I'm definitely on a unity ticket with you on this one, Chris. I think the more memorials we have to honour and really celebrate and learn more about our history, whether it's good, bad or ugly, the better, I think, because we don't get a lot of it in our schools. We kind of get a bit of a whitewashing of history in our schools, and it's very European and quite American in some regards. I know it was back in my day when I was back in high school in the 90s. So I think it's fantastic that there's all these options now being put on the table. But I even did some like research into even just musically. I was looking, there are a bunch load of contemporary bands, specifically the Preachers, who have recorded a number of Indigenous songs with the blessing of elders and things like that. And they are absolute bangers. I've had them on repeat for like the past couple of weeks. And it's fantastic. And you kind of go, this is what Australia is. It's mixing the beautiful native tongue of the Gadigal people with the beautiful, strings or a beautiful instrument with Western culture. So I think that's what makes Australia beautiful and why culture is so important moving forward as we try and celebrate and unite as a nation.
Yeah, Icehouse did it. Ivor Davies did it. Who else did it? A lot of other people have done it. Seekers, they did it with I Am You Are Australian. Now, that wasn't the only example of woke PC warriors hijacking our culture with their identity politics bandwagon. A plaque honouring an explorer has been covered up by North Sydney Council in Sydney after woke threats to vandalise it. It's related to Ben Boyd's shady connection to slavery. Rowan, when will these people realise that 250 years ago, just like today, the human condition is not perfect?
Well, it's not only 250 years ago, Chris. In World War II, the Nazis had slaves from Eastern Europe, had Jewish slaves, killed many of them. The communists in China still have slaves to this day. You can go to the Middle East, you can go to a market in Libya this evening and buy a black slave for $400. It is happening now in the world, throughout the Middle East, North Africa, China, and it's happened in Europe, and yet we're focusing on what happened 250 years ago. Are we insane? If these people had one skerrick of genuine caring about slavery in the world, those are the people they would be looking at. But of course, it's all just virtue signalling.
Yeah, all virtue signalling. Richo, instead of the North Sydney Council running scared from these woke protesters, why wouldn't you just simply say, hey, listen, we've got cameras on that site, or we will have in about 5 minutes. If you do vandalise it, you'll be charged and arrested. How about we do something... I know that sounds quite out there, but how about we do that?
Because half the North Sydney Council agree with him. That's the problem. North Sydney Council's notorious for it. I mean, they're all bloody woke, and so they think this is terrific. You won't get the council doing a thing against them.
Oh, it's just a pain in the neck. And yet they've got a solution for how to recognise an Indigenous woman from, the first settlement, and they've handled this. I can't say Clover Moore has handled this well, but at least they're taking ideas on board, and it sounds like there's a decent solution. But boy, oh boy, some councils don't know how to handle anything that's got controversy attached to it.